Hi again guys, Sam from Arturia here. In this video we'll be taking a closer look at Pigment's newly added Harmonic engine, opening up a world of sonic possibility with additive synthesis. Let's check it out. The Harmonic engine has been added to Pigment's current selection of wavetable, virtual analog and granular engines. It offers a unique approach to sound design with additive synthesis, which creates timbres by adding individual partials together. Timbres generally consist of multiple harmonic or inharmonic partials, or overtones. Each partial is essentially a sine wave of a different frequency and amplitude that swells and decays over time. With the Harmonic engine, you can manipulate and modulate these individual partials to explore new sonic territory. Let's dive deeper into its features and functions. To understand the way that additive synthesis works, let's have a look at the main harmonic display, which shows us all the partials that create the harmonics. To the right, we can see the area where we can define the number of partials engaged in the Harmonic engine. It can be as little as 8 or as many as 512 partials. The more partials that are engaged, the buzzier the harmonics will get, like this. And if we decrease the number of partials, the sound will be much softer and more mellow. This is because we are engaging less sine waves than before, removing the richness and detail from the sound. Next to the partial number control, we have the volume knob, which simply defines the output level of the harmonics. What's cool is that these controls can be modulated by some of the modulators available in Pigments, such as LFOs. If we attach an LFO to the number of partials, it will modulate the number of partials that we can hear in real time. Now that we've introduced the Harmonic engine, let's have a listen to some of the new presets in Pigment's factory library that make use of it. Now, the Harmonic oscillator offers more than just control over the partials and their volume. You can shape the sound with plenty of other controls which can make a big impact on the harmonic character. Firstly, there's the shape parity control, which defines the amount of odd or even harmonics in the mix. The harmonic spectrum always consists of both of these types. Some are more aligned in terms of their frequencies, and some are less aligned and stand out as odd. This control lets you decide how much of each you want to have. So let's have a listen. Again, some LFO modulation can introduce some nice movement between odd and even harmonics. Next up are two tilt controls. The first one defines the angle of the slope for which the partial amplitude decays. This will either dim the sound when set to lower values, or bring about the higher frequencies for a brighter sound. With some modulation applied, it can sound similar to a filter cutoff sweep. The second tilt offset control simply selects the partial from which the tilt parameter takes effect. As there are 512 partials in total, we can select which one will be the starting point for the tilt control. When you experiment with these controls, you'll quickly realise the variety of tones you can achieve with them. Next up, the middle section below the partials display is where you'll find the dual Formant filters that can further sculpt the sound. This area is divided into two parts, spectrum A on the left and spectrum B on the right. Each spectrum offers a choice of multiple filter shapes which can be inserted into the module and morphed to filter the partials in unique ways. Let's pick one for each spectrum and tweak the three controls below to hear how they work. Once the filter shapes are inserted and as we decrease the depth knob, we'll notice the impact the filters have on the harmonics, which are altered according to the shape of the filter, like this. We can go beyond this manipulation and even define the blend between the two spectrums, defining how much each one will affect the partials. Simply use the morph knob and increase it from minimum to the maximum value. This will reflect the change from one filter shape to another. A cool trick is to try to modulate the morph control with a function generator set to a rhythmic shape and a fast ratio, alongside a slow LFO modulating the depth knob. Combining these two modulations with the pitch shift delay and a bit of reverb can produce really magical sounding pads, like these. You can also add more modulation by controlling tilt with another slow LFO. This will create some extra tension as the sound will get brighter over time as you hold the notes. Finally, the stereo image module built into the oscillator helps us spread the partials far and wide across the mix. There are three modes to work with: split, periodic, and random. In split mode, the unfolded controls, odd and even, allow us to spread those particular sets of partials across the stereo mix. And of course, you can modulate them to create interesting movements between odd and even. In random mode, the partials move between random positions in the stereo field. The rate knob defines the rate at which they are moving to new positions, and the depth defines how far the partials can move. In periodic mode, you'll hear periodic offsets of the partials in the stereo field. The period knob defines how many periods there are across the frequency spectrum, and the depth knob defines how far the partials are moving. The final modules to look at are the modulator, the partial modulator mode, tune, and output. The modulator module plays the same role as it does with the other engine types, allowing frequency modulation inside of the engine. To apply it, simply increase the frequency modulation ratio control. Above it, you can also define the ratio of the partials, which can have interesting effects. The partial modulator mode is an additional module that brings some interesting options in the partial sculpting process. When set to window, it allows you to focus on a very specific window of partials, then boost their volume or modulate them, like this. You can define the size of the window, its gain, its position, and the frequency modulation for that particular window as well. The cluster mode, on the other hand, allows you to pick a few groups of partials and then cluster them together. You can define how many clusters of partials you will have in the spectrum. First cluster's position. The density, which defines how close the partials are to each other, as well as to choose how many partials are in each cluster. The last mode of the partial modulator mode is the shepherd mode, which allows you to recreate the auditory illusion known as the shepherd tone using partials. In this mode you'll see 4 controls. Position sets the position of the window, and the window size defines the size of the window. The phi parameter alters the position of each partial, moving it from its original position to the position of the next partial, changing both frequency and amplitude. Finally, the gain parameter allows you to emphasize or soften the effect by changing the overall gain inside the window. As with the other engines, the tune section allows you to define the global pitch of the oscillator, while the output section defines the overall volume and filter routing. Okay, that's it. Hopefully you can see how versatile the new Harmonic engine is with its deep but intuitive functions, and we hope you enjoy using it. Make sure to drop us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more cool Pigments content in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys soon.